Good afternoon. My name is Lillian Rodriguez, and today I'd like to discuss with you the importance of having a strategic plan and organization and the steps to accomplish this task. Basically, the first thing I'd like to state is define what a strategic plan is. A strategic plan is basically a process for defining and determining an organization's roles, priorities, and direction over the next 3 to 5 years. Why should an organization have a strategic plan in place? Well, basically, a strategic plan is simply a communication tool for the agency. It allows employees, frontline supervisors, managers, and upper management basically be aware of what the goals and priorities are for the organization. A strategic plan is simply a tool to allow the staff to have basically a roadmap as to what they should be working on in the next 3 to 5 years and what is important to the agency. So why should your organization have a strategic plan? Well, basically, without a plan in place, it pretty much can cause a disarray amongst the agency. Without a plan in place, employees may be uncertain as to what the priorities are and what exactly they should be working on a day-to-day basis besides the day-to-day productivity. Managers and supervisors, as well as employees, may be working on the same task in different departments. So it allows for redundancy, and it definitely, without a strategic plan in place, it does not give clarity as to the organization's priorities, mission, vision, and values. So who should be involved in a strategic plan? Well, basically, it should be everyone within that department or organization. A well-developed strategic plan should involve employees, frontline supervisors, mid-level supervisors, as well as upper management. With everyone's input and feedback in place, as well as having everyone's input in developing a strategic plan, it allows for staff's buy-in and clarity as to what route the employee should be working towards. So, how does an organization develop a strategic plan? Well, the first thing they need to do is develop their mission, vision, and values. What is the purpose of the organization and what are they trying to achieve? Next, what an organization should do is basically do environmental scan. An organization should look at their current numbers, where they are, and where they would like to be in 3 to 5 years. An example of this is an organization that's basically creating 15 widgets per day, and in the next 3 to 5 years they would like to create 30 widgets per day. An organization, once they look at their environmental scan, should conduct a SWOT analysis, which is basically looking at strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And once that's put into place, the organization basically needs to develop goals, objectives, and strategies as to how they're going to get from point A, which is basically their current position, to point B, which is 3 to 5 years. Again, just to reiterate, an environmental scan is basically looking at where the organization is at said given time, taking a snapshot of the organization, looking at their financial status, their budget, also looking at what the competitors are doing and where they are at said given time. So looking at your competitors can help an organization to get an idea and a feel as to how and where they want to go in the next 3 to 5 years. An environmental scan also includes customer feedback, employee feedback, staff surveys, as well as self-assessment results. So you definitely want to look at everything. It is a big task, but with looking at all of your items and your feedback, your numbers, and where you are at said given time, it's going to allow you to develop a very strong and detailed strategic plan for the future. As I mentioned, the next step is conducting a SWOT analysis. which is basically looking at your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. This will help develop, again, where you want to go in the future. And to be honest, an organization needs to be honest within themselves when they do a SWOT analysis in order to have a strong plan. After conducting a SWOT analysis and putting everything together and prioritizing what the strategies are and what they would like to work on, for example, maybe they want to work on, again, improving the widgets. So then they need to develop goals and objectives. So how are we going to get to those 30 widgets per day in 3 years? How are we going to increase 50% of our productivity? So again, by way of communication and strategizing, organizations can really write down and develop an action plan to get from point A to point B. Goals are basically long-term range outcome statements that are broad enough to guide the vision of the strategic plan. Now, in order to develop clear objectives, they must be SMART. They must be specific, measurable, attainable, reliable, and timely. So organizations or the staff needs to be very honest with themselves in getting to that point. Once the strategic plan is put together, the key is to monitor for the next 3 to 5 years by way of meeting regularly, looking at the reports and environmental scans they originally developed to ensure that they're meeting their goals and objectives. So, to reiterate, a strategic plan is extremely important for an organization. It is a guide or a tool that organizations use to keep them on track, keep employees and managers on track as to what the priorities are in the next 3 to 5 years, to increase productivity, and to develop a plan that will keep everyone in tune and communicated with what they should be working towards. It's a very difficult task, but with the right tools and the right staff in mind, it can be something that will clearly assist an organization with quality improvement. Well, I hope this has been helpful to you guys. Thank you so much for listening, and have a great day.